we are coming to you from the Kgagatlou Secondary School in Ga-Mphahlele. The area is called Seleteng, just outside Lebowakgomo here in Limpopo. This is where an incident where the deputy principal of this very same school was caught red-handed in a sexual act with one of the grade 12 learners at this very same school. There were a number of people who made reaction regarding that particular incident, because we understand that after being caught, he was badly assaulted by the community members, and he was also, accused of sleeping with other kids at this very same school. But to get a reaction now, I'm now joined by the chairperson of the SGB Council of South Africa in Limpopo, Mr. Derek Muswana. Mr. Muswana, thank you so much for talking to us here on SABC News. Just take us through, what is your reaction? And I understand that you had a meeting with the school principal and school management and the SGB. What is the latest from what you've just discussed?
We are saddened by the situation. However, we welcome the initiatives made by the Department of Education, socially, mentally, and psychologically. They are doing their desperate means to help the learner, the aggrieved learner. So we are confident, and we also would want to note with the reservation the resignation of Mr. Samuel Nthabeleng. We are confident that his resignation does not absorb him from justice. Justice must still happen, and as the council, we have deployed our legal resources to help the family and make sure that if there are any damages the department must pay, they must pay, because they moved him from one school to this school through an R&R process which was flawed. So we need action and accountability from the Department of Education. We are just confident that our legal teams will gather around and ensure that justice do happen.
We understand that the deputy principal has already resigned. So what steps are you going to take to ensure that indeed justice prevails? Because already he has resigned and the child remains at this very same premises of this school.
A resignation does not delete the events that transpired before his resignation. He resigned as a teacher, and he must also be disqualified from teaching at any given school in South Africa. So we are to engage the South African Council of Educators to ensure that his recognition is revoked. Because if we allow him to resign and go to another school, the man has been moving from one school to another and molesting young people from each and every school that he came from. So his tradition needs to be ended by ensuring that he does not become a professional teacher at any given stage in this current life. If he wants to teach, he must go to heaven and teach there.
We understand that the learner is was actually one of the grade 12 learners at this very same school. How is she doing, and what kind of a psychosocial support is she receiving as we speak?
Jointly, the Department of Education and the Department of Health have deployed necessary resources. We are confident that there will be resources that will assist the learner to sail through the final examinations. And we will also ensure that we engage with the family to ensure that also, because they are also vulnerable at this very moment. So we will also try to engage them to see what kind of possible resources can we deploy to them as a family, because it might be that the teacher have taken advantage of the social economic condition of the family and therefore abused the teacher, the said learner, because of the resources at his disposal.
So let's talk about the prevalence of this kind of incidents in the province. How prevalent is this?
It is becoming a norm now for teachers to be involved sexually with learners. So as the SGB Council, we are condemning such an act, and we have also made available our office resources to say every learner or every community member that reports such incidents will be rewarded with 1,000 rand for every information that will lead to the successful dismissal of these teachers, because they do not belong in our schools, they do not belong in our communities. Teachers must be in school to teach and not for sexual favors or pleasures.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. That is the chairperson of the SGB Council of South Africa in Limpopo, Mr. Derek Muswana. Very adamant that they wanted this man to face the music, particularly of what actually transpired. I can tell you that indeed yesterday, we received a statement from the Department of Education in Limpopo confirming that the said deputy principal has actually resigned. And now that he has resigned, the SGB Council of South Africa is actually calling for disciplinary hearings to continue to make sure that indeed justice prevails.